नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. So we will continue a little while the discussion on God and then move over to the topic about role of puja. We'll do so by raising the questions that are usually raised about puja and what is the answer given to them by the Shastra. Before that, since we talked about the existence of God and gave the reasons, etc., I would like to make one point about Swami Vivekananda asking this question to Sri Ramakrishna. When he first met Sri Ramakrishna, he said, "Have you seen God?" And Sri Ramakrishna said that, "Yes, I see him as I see you very clearly." What did really Sri Ramakrishna mean in the light of what we discussed so far? We had defined God as that uh, free will and intelligence which makes anything inert move. That is, it is beyond it. It even helps the force to become movable. That is, force is required to move an inert object, and even force is inert. So we had said that God is the intelligence and free will which even moves this force. Now, when Sri Ramakrishna is saying that I have seen God, I am seeing God as I see you clearly, was he looking at Sri Swami Vivekananda's body? Was he looking at Swami Vivekananda's intelligence? Yes, he was to some extent looking at the intelligence of Swami Vivekananda. But what was why was he looking at Swami Vivekananda's intelligence? Because, you see, Swami Vivekananda, he found, is so pure, his intellect is pure, because Thakur always said that, people come to me with worldly questions, so worldly. But here was a young person, a boy, who has got a clear mind and is asking a question, because very few people ask the question, have you seen God? So he was very, very happy that here is one patra, proper person who is capable of understanding what I will say. So he could see through his intellect. But how did he see through this intellect? Because already Sri Ramakrishna has realized he is Brahman, or he is that God. Therefore, in everything he is able to see the God. How? He could see behind the intelligence of Swami Vivekananda, behind the question that he raised, that have you seen God? What did Sri Ramakrishna see in the intelligence? That free will and intelligence, which we call God, was actually propelling this particular question to come out from the mind of Swami Vivekananda. So, what Sri Ramakrishna was saying is actually God. He was not either seeing the body of Swami Vivekananda, neither the intellect, when he is saying that I see God as I see you clearly, because he was seeing the God in Swami Vivekananda, because he knew that he is God, and therefore the God in Swami Vivekananda he could see. So this point will become clear to us about even the episode from the life of Swami Vivekananda and the gospel that we hear what Swami Vivekananda asked and what answer Sri Ramakrishna gave. And here Sri Ramakrishna is seeing that sentient being within the intellect, which is propelling the intellect to act in Swami Vivekananda. And that is why you can say I see God. Even in Swami Vivekananda, he saw that God as we have defined God. Now, we had talked about this, opium. When Master Mahashaya asked questions, and next day he comes, Thakur very jokingly says, "Oh, the peacock, when it gets the opium, it will again come because it says, tasted the opium." Now, we use the word opium in the context of our discussion about the Nastikas and Astikas, that Nastika says that religion is used as an opium. We must distinguish it very clearly what Sri Ramakrishna, when he's saying about opium, it is not this opium that religion is opium. What he's trying to say is once you've tasted the beauty, or you've enjoyed the discussion about God, or it's whetting your appetite and you're further getting answers to your questions, you cannot restrain yourself. Your legs will automatically walk towards that place to get that answer, because that question has become very real to you. Only then that will happen. Otherwise, you'll say, I don't have time, oh, what to do. Because that question has not become live. When the question becomes live, only then when we pursue it, we'll get the answers, because then we have connected to God within us. This is the point that I wanted to, in addition, add to what we were discussing about God, because we have got those very examples before us. Now, let us take up this question, or we will be taking up various questions that are normally raised by people about the role of puja, and offer explanations or answers to them on the basis of Shastra. The first question that may be posed is, if gods are undeniable, remember that we are raising it on the basis of the text that we are following, that by Swami Paramanand Bharati. So the first question raised here is, if gods are undeniable, let them be. But why should one worship them? The answer we get is from the Shastra is, it is they, the gods, who cause rain, good rain, shine, and also perform all the involuntary functions even within our body. So God is within us. As we say, Vaishvanara is in our stomach and he is helping us to digest the food. So, digestion of food, we don't know how it gets digested. We only eat, but the digestion is performed by Vaishvanara, is what our Shastra tells us. That means that sentient being, or free will and intelligence of that God who functions there to help us to digest the food. Similarly, for example, we have to please God for fulfillment of all our desires. We have to do our duties and then, with obedience, please them without conduct. This is a very important point. It's not enough to just, worship God. We have to also do the duties which are prescribed for us. Both together only will make this puja successful, or will bring the desired result. That means worship and work together have to be done. That is what the Shastra tells us. Now, if we do not do our duty and just worship, or either way, what happens? Anyway, all these things are provided by God, good rain, food, etc. But what happens is, as in the Gita it is told, if you do not add to that by performing your duty and worshipping, then you are like a thief taking away what is already given, and you don't put in what you have to do. That means you are breaking the cycle of life, the life cycle. It is a combination of duty and worship that constitutes the life cycle. So, one who does not complete this cycle but enjoys life is like a thief. In third chapter, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says that the 11th, third chapter, 11th shloka and the 12th shloka, let us look at it. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu yaha parasparam bhavayantaha sreya paramavapsyatha. It is those who, it's a mutual, pleasing each other. You please gods, the devatas, they will please you. How do you please the devatas? By worshipping them. Like you please your bosses. Do then you do that by doing their work. In the same way, when we please the gods, they will please us by giving us what we have asked for or what we need. So it is a mutual thing that one requires to do. In the 12th, it is said, in the 12th shloka of the third chapter, it is said, Ishtan bhogan hi vo dasyante yajna bhavitaha tairdaitana pradayebhyo yo bhunte stena evasa. Stena means thief. Those who do not do their particular duty and break the life cycle by not doing their share of the work, and they enjoy the benefits, they are like thieves, stealing what is not due to them. So that is why the role of puja is becomes important, because only by worshipping God and pleasing them, they will give us rain, shine, and whatever we need for our life cycle to continue. And we have to therefore please them. Then only they will please us with the requirements for the life cycle to continue. Now, another question is asked. As we directly deal with the bosses, we can easily understand the results of our duties and also decide our conduct. How can I know it in the case of invisible gods whether they are pleased at all? Now, they are extremely pleased by our devotion and worship, and they certainly will bestow favors on devotees. If people had not got rewarded, they would not have continued to worship. But for ages together, I mean, Anadi Kalam, we say, people have been worshipping God. Why? They wouldn't have worshipped if they had not got any benefits by worshipping God. So, uh, if the Shastra tells, uh, which tell that the Shastras tell us that what conduct pleases the Devatas. That we shall be taking up later. Now, the third question that is raised is, what exactly is the relation between our worshipful activities and the fulfillment of desires? Look here, when we worship God, now somebody says, no, that my illness was cured because I worship God. What actually happens is, because when we worship God and please, the God doesn't appear in any physical form to us. How does the God then work? God gives us appropriate suggestions at the right time for us to carry out the function in such a way that that thing that we were unable to do gets done. No, the examples are given in the book. The one example is given. We can multiply examples like this. You see, one lady was in her last stages of pregnancy, and she's developed a severe headache. Whatever tests were done, no doctor could diagnose, what exactly she was suffering from. And they could not prescribe to her any medicine at this advanced stage. But they prayed. Somebody said, go to such and such a temple, pray, and the God will, cure your problem. Then they did that as they were told. Went to that particular temple, prayed to the God. And lo and behold, they come back, and what happens? They go to a particular doctor, and he says, well, let me see. What's your problem? Just open your mouth. And he finds that there was a tooth which was decaying, and that was causing the headache. He removed the tooth, and no other treatment was required. Headache was gone. How did it happen? So when one prays, the idea came, why not we consult such and such a doctor? And the doctor also got a suggestion that, why don't you look into our mouth, and what is the problem? And this is how God functions. So it is not physically coming, And if if got some papa, you've done some things which are not according to your duty, what you should do. Like Karna, in the last minute, when he was actually functioning, he forgot. how to play be as an archer, do that particular act. He forgot it because he was cursed by Parshurama, because he learnt that Vidya from Parshurama and Dhanurvidya, and Parshurama came to know he was not a Brahmin, because Parshurama only gave Vidya to the Brahmins. So when he came to know Karna is not a Brahmin, what happened? He gave him the curse. How did he come to know Karna is not Brahmin? Because there was a insect which was biting in Karna, and he was bleeding, but he was not responding to him. He was just keeping quiet. He said, "Oh, this man is very strong. He's a warrior. So he belongs to the warrior caste. That is his guna." Immediately he discovered that he is not a Brahmin. So he cursed him that at the right time, appropriate time, will forget it. But if when you pray to God, God reminds you and gives you suggestion, and you have to be ready to receive that suggestion when it is given to you. If you are of that pure intellect, you will be able to receive that message. So today we will conclude at this point. We will take up many more questions. Now we are only taking up at the moment questions which are given in this book and answers given. But there would be many of us who would have more questions, and in our discussions we can take up all those questions, because we will be able to get answers for each of those questions from the Shastra. So here I conclude for today. ॐ कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। हरि ओं तत्सत्।